And then when the body stopped going and it was quiet again, we didn't see our mother back. And then finally we saw our father between the two assessments with his hands tied in the back. And he kind of turned his head to look at our window. And I ran out. I ran out of my sister's apartment towards the big hallway into the, you would call it a lobby, I don't know. But I started running out, and I was going to go to I wanted to grab my father and pull him back. And then I felt my sister's hand pulling at my collar and pulling me back. She says, "What are you trying to do, kill us all?" So finally we stood again at the window and watched our father walk away with the two assessments. We didn't know what had happened to him. And then as time went, a little time later, in the meantime we were starving, and we didn't see our mother. We had no idea where she was. And finally my older sister and I ran out. My little sister stayed with her two little babies. And we started looking for our mother. And then we couldn't find her. Finally, we heard a little meowing, it was a meow like a cat. And then it caught our attention, and I ran over to the area where I heard the sound. And then I saw my mother was curled up in fetus position. And so we picked her up. I don't know where we got the strength. My older sister was taller than I. She was about 5'5". I was barely 5 foot, maybe not even that, I don't know. And so we picked her up, and it was, we walked like two lame people on each side, because my older sister went this way and I went that way. So at any rate, as we got closer to our building, my mother started crying, "No, I can't go there. You cannot take me there because they'll kill me. They will kill everybody in the house." They said that they'll come back and kill everybody. So I don't want anybody else to be killed. And so we didn't know what to do. So she said, "Take me to Odessa." So we walked again. It was a difficult task because my mother could barely walk. So we walked again to the hospital where my aunt was a nurse there. The nurses in that hospital lived in the hospital where they worked. And so we came there, and there was the morgue. We walked over to the morgue, and there were all those naked bodies, right, one on top of the other, and we were searching to see if we could find our father there, but we couldn't see anything. Everything was too bloody. And then my mother wanted us to leave her there because if she comes back, then they will kill us all. So we did leave her there for a couple of days until she recovered, because when she started to cry, I saw that her front teeth were missing. And blood was coming from her mouth and her nose and all over her. And then after 2 days we were starving. So my sister went over there and she got our mother back home. And then my mother took, by that time, I already was at home, but my mother didn't want me to go because Bella, my sister, promised that she would take me with her to work. So she went back, and my father's clothing had come back saying that my father had died in Auschwitz. So she took the clothing, she washed it, and she sold it. And then she went ahead and she was baking the cookies so that we could have a bowl of soup at night. And then my sister Bella came home with a identification card for me so that she could take me with her to work. And I had the same situation. I came to the warehouse and there were they were Wehrmacht, just plain soldiers. And they all looked me over. One of them was Yaja Boren. The other one was her Irish. The other one was her Linden. This is where I found the second decent human being. And then as I walked in there, my sister brings me in, and this Heldoran had a big belly and a red face, and the girls called him Red. And he looked at me and he said, "What did you bring me here?" "You brought me a child." She says, "No, she's a good worker. She was digging ditches. She's very strong." And she really pleaded with him to let me stay. And he said, and then, as she was pleading, the wagon came in with clothing and stuff. So he said, "Okay, just today, then tomorrow she's gone, don't bring her back." And then I ran, and my sister kept saying to me, "Run like hell." And so I did. I was running up and down those stairs faster than the older girls did. And each, it was 3 flights of steps. On each step, on each staircase was a soldier with a whip. Even the good soldiers, they had to have the whip. If you didn't run fast enough, you got it on your back. By then, I learned to run fast enough, and I did not catch the whip. And so I continued to work there until the summer of 1942, when they told us to go back home and bring our belongings that we were being camped in, and we did. And then we lived there for a little while. They had built 2 barracks, one for the men and one for the women, and there were 2 for right next to each other. And then we stayed there with our pillows. We had straw mattresses, which was fine, and it was also warm. They had a heater in there. And then in the summer, in September, August 1942, they gave us all passes to go home and see our family. And we were very grateful for that. And so my turn was to go home, I looked around and I saw all those lights, and men were standing on big ladders and installing big lights onto the poles. And so, and as I was getting into the ghetto, I saw my sister, my oldest sister, and she came running to me and she put her arms around me. And she was normally not very demonstrative, but this time she was really hugging. She wouldn't let me go. And she kept, and I said to her, "Frida, what is going on? What's with all those lights?" She says, "Oh, they are saying that General Frank was coming into our town. So that's why they have those lights on." I mean, if you tell me this today, a general was going to come, and that's why they put lights on so that he could see either daytime or nighttime, I would not believe it. But I was a kid, and my older sister already was a mother of 2 children. She would not lie to me. So then I ran upstairs, and it was a different story when I saw my mother. She was very sad, and she helped me with a bath. You know, we didn't have running water, or we didn't have indoor plumbing or anything like that. But we had a basin, and she put me over the basin, washed my hair, and helped me with a bath, just like when I was a little kid at home. She never let me think that I was getting any older.